all witnessed the holyten Risky Life 3 drop, right? And then we've also witnessed the new video that he posted on Friday or Saturday, I guess, in front of the Angel of Hope building, which is supposedly an NGO of some sort ran by Mnangagwa, right? So I'd like to give a shout to holyten for being such a strategist or such a genius, a marketing genius. I think you can't really take away the genius of holyten in his rollouts. Just like the difference between holyten and winkyd is winkyd just drops a new song, it disappears, right? Then holyten, he kind of interacts with the audience. He understands how things work now. You have to maintain the conversations, just like how Casper would do it, how Champagne Papi aka Drake would do it, right? If you look at it, holyten is the only superstar that we have right now, and hip-hop is basically a genre that's pushed by you being a superstar. Without being a superstar, you're basically irrelevant, because you have to kind of toe the line between being a musician and being relevant, being part of the conversation every time. Let me break it down and how he did it. So number one, holyten came in as this socially conscious rapper, right? Then number two, he blew up during the train. He got the critical acclaim. He got the airplay. He got everyone's validation, right? He started getting booked all over the years. Like from lockdown, he blew up there. Like him blowing up in lockdown, right, proves how much of an internet guy he is and how much of an intellect he is. He doesn't have to be a degree. Have a degree. We all know he's a dropout, but he's much more of a genius than both JT will ever be. I think even Michael Mack said it in an interview. So basically, speaking on holyten's genius, he came in socially conscious guy, and he reinvented himself into this young notorious guy. Started linking up with university hands, showing up in videos, being everywhere. Having that hip hop lifestyle. And it's suitable for the genre. Like, I mean, it might not be appropriate to Zimbabwe and the Zimbabwean audience, but it was actually something new and something intriguing. So he came in, did the use it, animal hoes, those lines, So I don't really blame holyten because he was growing up, And then came, boom, around 2022, came his rivalry against both JT. I think this rivalry kind of made sense in a way, because, I mean, both JT was almost in the same age range, and then they even made a record back in 2021, 2022, back then. And it was all love. We had a whole bunch of hits in the hip-hop community, and everyone was so united, right? And then the rivalry started. So we witnessed a collaboration between Ja Fraser and Kimberly Richards, who was a video vixen at Use It by then. Then we witnessed a video titled Friends by Vote JT, which had Kimberly Richards as a video vixen, right? She coming into the picture, she became one of these video vixens for the culture, The hip-hop cats tried to own her in a way. Then fast forward, holyten then also engaged her in a video and then decided to make her his now wife, and back then his girlfriend, right? So this is the timeline of the beef, right? If you look at it, that's when the beef started. We received a couple of good records during that beef, like those type of records from both JT, So that was a good sparring, and that made it so relevant for the hip hop sport at that time, that it was so entertaining. It kind of took hip hop from here to up there, So going fast forward through that journey, right? holyten knew the blueprint. If you look at it, if you look at people like Kanye, like Drake, they always have their moments where Rihanna is involved, Kim Kardashian is involved. Sometimes to elevate yourself at superstar level, you have to have that, that queen bee beside you. And for Drake, that was Rihanna for you. For Jay-Z, that was Beyonce for him. And for Kanye, that was Kim Kardashian for him. It kind of pivots you from being that regular rapper to superstar level, where you're making the news and there's relationship controversy. You're part of the conversation. It kind of took holyten from being this regular rapper, conscious rapper, who has multiple controversies, to a superstar level, because the media was always covering him. There was always news, and the blogs would be on him and his life, So that's the journey of being a superstar. And I feel like Vote JT, without any holyten mention, I feel like he's irrelevant in the conversation. And him being a nice guy kind of cost him along the way, because, I mean, like, you can't really speak on Vote JT without speaking about holyten, because he kind of fell into the trap of being a good guy. If you look at Casper right now, yeah, he did this thing, right? He's talented, he has the records, he has the money, but he fell under the shadow of being AKA's rival. So that's the same trap both JT fell into. So basically, I mean, if you look at it now, the only relevant person, if holyten isn't dropping, hip-hop isn't charting, If anything, right now, you can't speak on both JT's name without ever mentioning that rivalry. Both JT never had a moment in an interview that we can clip, just like holyten did with DJ Ola podcast and the Denny J podcast back in the day. He never put anyone on that is relevant right now. Like, speak of holyten, you're speaking of Gunda Mwenda, same flow. Speaking of holyten, you are speaking on Michael Mack's Bundu Boys. This is a classic album by now. Then speaking of holyten, you are also speaking on Mr. Candy. You're also speaking on Shiba. You're speaking on Samanyanga Sound. You're speaking on Kimberly Richards herself, everyone has a hit, you know. So I mean, his contribution to the game cannot be erased, and it's no surprise right now that Risky Life is charting and his song is trending #2. So I mean, if you're a star, you're a star, and I think he really pivoted hip hop and made it a commercially viable entity. And now niggas can get booked, and now niggas can sing on stage in the same lineup as Zip Dance. So right now we've got Hit Factory, and right now we've got that Zip Dance or Zimhiphop clash. It never used to be like that. We used to have Zim Dance or top in the charts, and you couldn't make a hit record from Zimhiphop because there was always a stigma of Bafana Salad. It is what it is. Bye.